And welcome to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Doc Talk is up next. Let's go ahead and get this thing cranked up. And a fine good evening to you folks. It is me, Gene, your host with TPO Doc Talk. We have got a super cool interview lined up tonight in our Angler interview series here. Fellow Team New Canoe and straight up OG of our sport, man, Mr. Craig Dye. He's here in the wings waiting on us. Before we get going too much further, folks, All-American Kayak Series is about to get kicked off here. We're counting it down, what is it, like 50 days or something like that, to Lake of the Ozarks. It's available on Tourney X. Make sure you get out there, get signed up, All-American Kayak Series. Man, we have got a bucket list set of schedule lined up for you folks. You don't want to miss this stuff. It is going to be a heck of a good time. Check out the Facebook group. You can see where the payout structure lands there. Get a chance to get you some money, man. Come on in there and get after it and get yourself some extra cash out there. All right, man, let's go ahead and bring this dude in here. Let's drop the music down out of the way. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Craig Dye. Craig, how are you, sir?
Good, man. Good. I really wish you could turn that music back on. That was
good tunes, right?
Yeah, I was really enjoying that, actually. It was pretty nice.
The name of it is Heat Is My Middle Name.
Okay. I'm going to write that down. I got it.
It's one of those licensed audio things for StreamYard, so I bet you could find it just about anywhere out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a drummer, man. So anything I hear a good beat like that, I really enjoy it. So, you know.
A Renaissance man, huh? Also, not an angler, but not just an angler, but also play the drums.
Yeah, man. I started in middle school and played in high school. Then I actually played at LSU for a couple of years on a scholarship there. And then I played in some bands, you know, probably 3 or 4 years after college. And then kind of went away. I got a drum kit right over here in my office. I still play. I try to play, come home from work, you know, blow off a little steam, play for 15, 20 minutes. I still really enjoy it. I really do.
Dude, I believe there's a lot of therapy with that. I was telling the wife that I want to actually pick up. I mean, I'm an old dog. I'm 51, going to be 52 this year, but I want to learn to play the banjo, man. There's the 5-string banjo. I love that mountain music stuff. And there's so much you can do with that instrument. And so, yeah, I've been looked at weird by my son and my wife both, but thinking
about it. It looks hard, man. It looks difficult. But
finger picking, right? It's going to be weird.
I think the muscle memory to train yourself, I don't know. But they say, you know, 5, 10, 20 minutes every single day. It don't take that long, you know, to pick up a skill like that. You know?
Well, we'll see. I'll go to Amazon, find me one of them $150 banjos, just, you know, something cheap, and we'll hook this thing up. Yeah. Next thing you know, my intro might be me just plucking along, right?
Yeah. Then you'll have 3 banjos in the corner back there worth about $2,000. We know how it works.
Right.
It's like fishing.
Yeah, it won't be the fishing poles hiding back there. It'll be banjos next.
Yeah. They'll be hanging on the wall. Yeah.
That's right. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for coming by our show here and hanging and talking fishing with us. How long, you had mentioned before, you've been involved in kayak fishing, man, for 12 years now? Is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that. Really, it started with my wife and I. Actually, we lived in Atlanta and we were fishing. We were dating and we were looking for something fun to do. And I fished growing up in Louisiana. You know, I fished forever, fished a little bit of tournaments when I was in high school with my uncle. And we were looking for something fun to do, so we bought a tandem kayak from Dick's Sporting Goods, like a lot of people go do.
Nice.
And that was fun for a little while. And then, you know, I kind of wanted to go do my own thing, so I bought it was a long time, I bought a Wilderness System ride, one of the first Wilderness Systems rides back in the day. And then I started doing my own thing. And then my work moved me to Nashville, and that's where I met, almost the same time that I moved there, Chad Hoover moved there. And that's when he opened up Hook One. And then that's when all the KBF trails started, was right there. And I was good friends with Chad. It just had the timing. We just kind of came in together.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so the second KBF trail ever, I think it was, the second one ever was on Old Hickory Lake right there in Nashville. So
I fished Old Hickory before, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun lake. It's really cool, man. It's got some good grass on the bank to fish, a lot of docks, and a lot of sneaky holes you can get into. But anyway, that's kind of how. I mean, I don't know how long ago that was. That was 10 years ago. I don't really know, but
right.
It's been a long time. So I've seen it from the very beginning start. With the clubs everywhere breaking out and clubs getting more numbers and more numbers, just like at the club at KBFTN in Nashville.
Right.
We started off with 6 guys, and now they're having, it's still growing and growing and growing. And man, I just, I'm still here, still in it, still love not doing it as much as I used to. I got 2 kids in sports, so things are slowing down a little bit. But yeah, man, I've kind of seen it all,
Well, and I was looking here at one time you were with Team USA, brother. Went back in 2020, is that right? You were chosen for Team USA.
Yeah, and that was on Center Hill Lake. I actually won a state championship. This is a long time ago. I won a state championship, the Tennessee State Championship on Center Hill Lake. I think that's probably why I was chosen for that team. Plus, it was local. It wasn't too far from the house, and Chad was on the team, and a bunch of other guys I knew. Cody Milton and all those guys. Ron Champion.
Drew Gregory. Looks like Jackson was in there.
Yeah, Drew, Eric Jackson. I've actually competed against Eric Jackson a bunch of times. I've actually done a couple of saltwater tournaments. The Adventure Fishing World Champion tournament. Nice. These are old tournaments. They don't do them anymore, but I've competed against Eric Jackson a few times, and Drew Gregory and all those guys, man. So that Pan Am event on Center Hill, it was really cool. Fishing was pretty tough because I think it was in September. Oh. And that lake, it can be tough that time, but we had fun.
That's awesome, man. And it's so cool to kind of see where the kayak game has gone. I mean, it's an ebb and flow type deal, but we are the fastest growing sector of the sport fishing industry. That remains in play, even with the slowdown, that everybody experienced. It's starting to see the things starting to ramp back up again, and it's I've have my own ideas as to why when people come in, man, they stay, they get hooked, pardon the pun, but what do you think it is that attracts so many people that, once they get a taste of it, they want a piece of this thing and they have the ability to go further with it if they want? I mean, why do you think that is?
Man, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's the low cost to get into it. I mean, you can get in for, really under $500, and you're out there in a pretty comfortable kayak. I wouldn't say very comfortable, but you can get out there and do it for 2 or 3 hours and have a good time.
Right.
I also think something I always thought it's kind of weird, but I feel like when you're like in a bass boat and you're out there, like you're there visiting what's going on out there, right? I feel like when you're in a kayak, you're more like you're part of what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Is that
100%?
It kind of sounds weird, but like when you're out there, I don't know, because it's so quiet and you're so stealthy, and everything you see doesn't just fly away or walk away. Like, you see deer. They'll just hang out. I don't know. For me personally, that's one of the main reasons I'm hooked on it.
Yep.
Is because and been hooked on it. I love to compete. I used to do a lot of tournaments, not as much as I do now, but that part of it, taking a kayak out with 2 rods, going on the river, and just being out there, man. That for me, that's probably the number one thing that draws me. So I think that's the same for a lot of other people.
It's right at the heart of the therapeutic benefits as to, why we try to engage our nation's warfighters and get them outdoors. It's a far more intimate experience with just the outdoors, man. You're there. And I'll tell you that first year, the things I was starting to notice, and it's not that I didn't notice them when I was on the deck of my bass boat, but I may have noticed them, but I didn't pay attention to them. And that is how many times in a given hour or 2 hour period, the wind changes direction.
Yeah.
And
man, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, when you're in a kayak, okay, the wind's coming from, it's coming from the east now. It was coming northeast. Now something's changing. Now you're like, hey, that wind's blowing that bank over there where that riprap is.
yeah.
I'm going over there.
Dude, you're like a compass needle out there. You get scooted around. You start to pay attention. Water clarity, temperatures. I can literally. I see it on my graph, but I can literally just lean over and touch it too and get an idea of just what is that temperature of that water right now? What's going on with it? Yeah. All these things kind of come into play. And, it's at the heart, man, of what that experience is. It's not by just some weird, happenstance that people take benefit from it. It's not, there's plenty of good reasons why we've gotten hooked with it. And it's so cool to hear everybody's personal kind of, thought and journey on that, because it's, you see a lot of the same, but every now and again, somebody brings something up and it's like, oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Well, also for me, some of my best friends I had when I moved to Nashville, it was all because of fishing. So obviously the experience of kayak fishing and being out there, but the community and to find like-minded people that love to get out and catch fish. And in Nashville, the options for fishing were just endless there. All the rivers you wanted, clear water, smallmouth. You want to go over to Kentucky Lake, you can find some muddy water and fish shallow and throw a frog. I mean, anything you wanted to do, just depending on if you want to drive 2 hours east, 2 hours west, 2 hours north. I mean, it was incredible. I was lucky to be in Nashville when I became really hooked on this sport, because I could do anything. I caught my first smallmouth when I moved there. I'm from Louisiana. We've never seen smallmouth.
I was going to say, you guys don't have those critters down there. Water's too warm.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome, man. And it's, you're right. The Nashville area is absolutely beautiful. We got some connections in that neck of the woods as well. And I love every chance we get to go there. I fished Old Hickory out of my bass boat. Longest run I've ever made was Old Hickory, literally 40 miles one way up. I needed to find a specific depth of grass, and the water levels were kind of goofy at that time of the year that I was there. I think it was, I want to say it might have been October. And dude, we ran.
Way up the Cumberland? Way
up. Yep.
You can go a long way, man.
The co-angler that was with me, I was like, we're about 40 miles that way to our stop one. And he, yeah. I'm like, no, I mean it. Settle in. we gonna be here a while. So the beauty was, though, short of the laydowns, that lake was kind of full of debris. So I was a little worried about ripping the low end unit off. But for the most part, it was 60 to 65 cruising, no problem, right on up the river. But it's really nice people in that neck of the woods too, man. They're real friendly. All the people at the restaurants and gas stations and hotels, really accommodating.
Yeah.
When did you first join up with, or actually, when did you first discover New Canoe?
Well, let's see. So, I was on Wilderness Systems for, I think, 4 or 5 years, something like that. It was a brand that I kind of got hooked up with when I met Chad, and, I was in a ride, and then the Attack 120. And then when Everett started building a team, I started to notice, and then they came out with the Pursuit, and then I really started to notice. And I'll tell you a story real quick. So I've already told this story, but I'll make it quick. I was sitting on Lake Chickamauga in a Wilderness Systems Attack, and I was sponsored by Torqeedo. Okay, incredible motor. I recommend it for anybody, right? And I was trying to fish some shell, like a shell bed. It wasn't real deep, but you got the current, the Tennessee River, you got wind blowing, and to be able to hold your spot with the Torqeedo using foot control, it can be difficult, from the back of the kayak, and everybody knows that now. That setup for river fishing, Torqeedo on the back for river fishing, incredible. To go against the current, to control yourself, perfect. But we're fishing the lake. I was really. And I've been looking at everybody's getting these bow mounts. I kept seeing bow mounts, and Wilderness hadn't quite figured out the best way to do that. And New Canoe just had it dialed in. Everybody was doing it. It was bow mount, Motor Guide XI3. It was on the Pursuit. And man, watching these videos of these guys with the control they had on the water, especially offshore and fishing deep and fishing in the wind. I was driving back from Chickamauga, back to actually lived in Atlanta, drive home. That's when I started messaging like Derek Brundle, and Cody Milton was on the team then.
Yep.
Asking him about that setup and talking to Mike Schmitz, and all these guys. And then I was like, and then, you know, Everett would he tried to recruit me that year, and I was with Wilderness. And then the next year came around, and Everett, you know, would call me again. And I'm like, you know what? I said, I'm going to do it. And because, you know, people were great. Blake was great. And Wilderness was going through some changes. I mean, to be honest with you. So it was there was a lot going on. And I don't know, man. I just kind of gravitated to it. And I think I've been on the team 4 years now. Four or five. I think it's 4 years. 4 years.
That's funny that you say that, because when we were starting the TPO, we were looking for who was going to be our strategic partner, you know, what kayak manufacturer. The first thing I was narrowing down, looking at different boats out there, right? And the Recon came in a couple times to our discussion because it was just notorious for being a really stable boat, you know, and stability was a big deal to me. The top of the, you know, the measure chain in there, though, it kept coming back. I kept hearing about this unlimited. The Frontier 12, very stable, but I kept hearing about this unlimited. And so what was kind of funny is I called Blake, you know, I called New Canoe actually. I give him my elevator speech. Hey guys, this is what I'm looking to do. Looking for a company that wants to work with me on this. The Lori at the phone there says, you know what? You need to talk to Blake about this. And I'm like, I done my research on the company. I'm like, Blake Young? I knew he's the president. And she goes, yeah, he's the owner of the company.
Yeah, the man.
I'm like, okay. And she goes, I was like, well, you know, would you mind sending me to his voicemail? You know, is what I'm kind of thinking. And she's like, oh, no, I'm going to transfer you straight over. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Okay, cool.
Yes.
She sends me over. Make a long story short, I threw my pitch at him, and I before I even put the finishing touches on my speech, his response was, all right, I'm in. You know, we're down for this. What do you need from me? And I'm like, whoa. And I remember telling him, I love telling this story when Blake's on the show, because I'm like, I was not ready for him to say yes and let's go right now. So I'm like, I told him that too. I'm like, Blake, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't really prepared for you to say yes right now.
Hey, that's not a good salesman. If he says yes, you say, okay, you get off the phone as quick as you can.
Yeah, exactly. You know, catch them while they're hot.
You closed it, man.
But yeah, no, we worked out a deal. Roman's Warrior Foundation is who put everything together to make it all happen. Next thing you know, here we are with 4, boats. We sold 1, and now we're going to be back to 4 when our team boat comes in this year. I'm getting that U10, man. What do you think about that thing coming? She's a beauty.
Well, I think I messed up, Gene.
I think you messed up?
Well, for some reason, we can order a team boat.
Right.
We get a team boat every year. Everybody knows how that works. Most people do. And I ordered the unlimited, but I wanted, because in my mind I wanted an all black custom unlimited, because I had the all black Pursuit. Now I have an all black Flint right now.
Right.
I wanted an all black unlimited, and I know the U10 was coming out. I thought in my mind it was going to be later in the spring.
Right.
Like I guess I wasn't paying attention. I don't really know. So I ordered an unlimited, and I'm like, and then I called Fletch today. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I called Fletch. I said, Fletch, you got a U10 in the shop? And he goes, no, man. He goes, but I will have a demo one. I was like, okay, that's great. And then he said, I said, when are you getting the ones, from the factory? And he said, well, it's going to be later, probably end of February, maybe beginning of March. And I said, man, I messed up. I don't know why I didn't order one of these, because I want one. I mean, I do a lot of river fishing, and I love, you can just look at that thing. I mean, it's just, I think my favorite thing I'm most excited about is the rod storage on the sides, because where I fish on the Etowah River is you can fish under a canopy a lot.
I'll blow this up real quick so people can see it. There you go.
Yeah, you can
right up in here.
Yeah, and then down there at the bottom, you can see that's where your reel will hang, and then your rod will sit right there. So,
yep.
I mean, it's really to be able to keep 2 rods on the side, not sticking up anywhere, and have another rod in my hand. For me, that's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited, and it's 40 inches wide. So
dude.
Standing while you're going down the river and to be able to pitch and flip, you can do much better, obviously, when you're standing. I can't wait for that. So.
And it's got the trademark, one of the things that, quite frankly, no one on the market can touch us on, and that is the drainage of this thing.
Oh, yes.
That Venturi effect that takes place on the bottom of these things, where it literally sucks the water out as you move.
Yes. Yes.
I've been in some big water. I got caught at Bull Shoals during a little a storm that kind of blew in. I had to jump around a bluff wall to the main lake to get back to another creek channel. And dude, I was taking waves over the bow with that Unlimited of mine. And as long as I kept moving, man, she was just bailing. It's like you couldn't even tell. It was amazing. Yeah,
and plus, I think the way it looks. I mean, especially when you put all the decking on there. I mean, to me, it looks when you put that decking like that with that black trim. To me, it's one of the best looking kayaks out there, or the best looking kayak. I mean,
dude,
I know I have to say it, but come on, right?
No, seriously, it's I am so stoked. We put in for our team boat this year. I wanted that patriotic theme that we actually do have. Yeah. And I want to go ahead and I got the U10, so I come in April. We'll take delivery on ours.
Yeah.
And, what I do with those is I put then my Unlimiteds. That'll give us 3 Unlimiteds for our little fleet, and then I'm hoping that I can transfer out of the Unlimited and put myself just in that U10. Then I'll be able to put guys in those Unlimiteds. One of the most stable craft out there. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man, that, I like to carry a lot of stuff, and the Unlimited has plenty of space. And maybe this U10 will help me narrow stuff down, right? And then I won't have
right. I feel the same way. Like I said, I love fishing lakes, but it's one of those convenience things. I have a pond about 300 yards that way in our neighborhood, right past the pool, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just cart it. I can cart it right over the sidewalk, right down a little hill, and I'm in the pond over there. So and it's full of fish, which is great.
That helps.
But the Unlimited. I mean, it's because you got to drag it. Let it go down a hill, which is easy, but dragging it out can be a little tough. And to have that, I think it's 20 pounds lighter, or something like that. 15, 20 pounds lighter. It's about 18 inches shorter, I believe, if I did the math right.
Yeah.
And that's going to help me a lot. It's going to be a lot easier, So,
dude, I'm excited, and I'm thinking I might even be able to get that thing up on the roof of my truck, actually, with
there you go,
with a proper mount, so I could have an Unlimited in the back and the U10 up on top. That would be.
Oh, that would be good.
We could roll out heavy then,
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like you said, you got family stuff going on these days. That's taken down a lot of the tournaments and such.
Yeah.
Which, family first. Gotta take care of it. You don't get those years back with the little ones, so that's super cool that you're doing that.
Yeah.
What would you say, in your estimation, what was your wheelhouse of bass fishing, man? What was the thing that just, you felt, all else fails, I go to this, be it a technique or a style? What was in the area for Craig that just you felt like really separated you?
Well, that's easy. Now, are you talking about what got the most checks or what I enjoy doing the most?
Let's go with enjoy doing, and then we'll find out what cashes checks.
That is 100%, no doubt, throwing crankbaits in, say, 2 foot to about 12 foot of water.
That's awesome.
I mean, anywhere I go, I got a DT6 on. I got a KVD 1.5. I don't care where I'm at. I got it tied on. I mean, I look, man, I can't even explain. I've talked to so many people about it. People know I like doing it. A lot of people know I like doing it. And I probably do it too much. But look, man, when you throw out there and say, there's some rock out there, some wood or a square, but you got a square bill on, you throw it right on the bank and you're pulling it and you feel it hit that log, and all of a sudden you get that soft, mushy feeling. And all of a sudden you set it, and you got that glass rod that bends real far, and then all of a sudden it starts going like that. Man, that's like the guy.
There's nothing like it, right?
I can't even. I don't know, man. I haven't been fishing a lot lately because the kids are so busy. I got to get out there, man. I'm having
got some withdrawals going on.
I'm out here talking to you about it. I'm like, man, It's warm. I mean, it was like 65 degrees here today, and it's the middle of February. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, man, it hasn't been even out here in Colorado. We haven't seen much of a winter,
Yeah.
man. It's we had a little bit of snow here and there, a couple storms, blew through, but in normal Colorado fashion, like today, we're back to 50 degrees. My studio, I've got the window open, during the day just to keep things nice and cool up here. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're going to get a late winter blast.
That's what I feel is going to happen, and then the fishing gets kind of weird when that happens too. It's like if you get 4 weeks of warm, and then you get that March 2 weeks where it gets really cold, and then you're going to have a tournament when that cold front comes in.
Exactly. Someplace in Texas.
You're like, oh man, they're going to be shallow. I'm going to throw a chatterbait, and then all of a sudden it's 22 degrees and raining or whatever. Terrible. I've been through it a few times.
I feel that. So the big question I'm sure the listeners are going to want to know: what would you say you've cashed more checks doing?
Man, if people were real honest, I mean, I think it'd be more than what they'd really say, but it's shaky head.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, being in Tennessee, fishing a lot of those humps out there, those rock piles, it's just one of those things, man, catching those smallmouth. And then, I mean, even down in Florida, I'll throw it sometimes, if I can get away with it. But I always have 1/8 ounce, and usually I love throwing a black, just a black, Zoom finesse worm, like 15-pound braid with maybe a 10-pound leader. If I'm somewhere where, like Chickamauga, I'll throw a 15-pound leader because you never know what you're going to hook out there.
Right.
But, I mean, when they're biting, I mean, it's a lot of fun on a shaky head, but I still rather pick up a crankbait any day.
100%. I try to tell guys this because there's this, I don't mind sharing this information with people. When people, it's so funny in our industry when people say, oh, I was throwing a Ned rig, they almost feel ashamed to say it. And I'm like, dude, were you catching fish? Then smart on you, because Marty Hughes, I love how he doesn't care. Marty's been around the block. That dude's going to throw a Nico rig if he's in Florida or if he's in Ontario, Canada. He's throwing a Nico rig and he's going to put about 32, fish in the boat inside of an hour. I mean, the dude catches fish.
That's how it goes sometimes, man. And I really enjoy I don't know, I guess it kind of feels like a sport, like especially when you're fishing real shallow and like the accuracy of making a good cast.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I feel like it keeps my mind strong. Like when you're focused on casting and getting the right angles and you're in it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm out there fishing slow, it's kind of hard. But when I'm fishing fast like that, I feel good. And I feel like, okay, the fish are shallow. I know this is where I need to be. Just keep going. And then you'll catch one or get a bite. And you're like, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Just got to cover water. Yeah.
But I think it just helps me stay, that having to make really good tight casts kind of keeps my mind where I'm not wondering I wonder what could be going on over there at that creek. Or I wonder if, they're catching them over there. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. So
do you find like I do that, some guys hate when the day turns into a junk fishing game? Me, man, I absolutely love that because it's like I'm going down through my laundry list of everything that's sitting behind me and I'm catching a fish or two off of just about 5 different presentations. I love a good junk fishing derb, when it gets flying like that, because it's I think it tests your skills quite a bit. Like you said, you gotta change things up.
I think something that I got pretty good at, because when I started fishing the KBF stuff and all that, I was fishing a lot. I was in a sales job where I had a schedule where I could kind of make my own, and man, I fished a lot. So what I got really good at was mentally, if the pattern changed and I found something else, I had zero problem scratching everything that I did in practice and just running that. Right. And I feel like I got better and better and better at it. And then, but that was from just time on the water. I was just spending time out there and, seeing the wind or seeing all of a sudden the water's clear. Maybe the current's moving down. I need to be at this angle or, whatever, I had no problem. It was just, I could just switch right there and say, okay, that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Then everything else is gone. Forget about it.
I love it, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. And I actually myself as time went on, I don't fish as much as I used to during pre-fishing during practice time anymore. I do enough just to get some feedback. I just want to see them talk to me real quick. By them, I mean the fish. I'm just looking for a little bit, but I'm more interested in areas now that I launch from, because of in the kayak game, you gotta, right? I mean, you can't motor up and jet 20, 30 miles away. You know, it's like you gotta settle in there and pick apart an area. So you're looking for areas that set up well with maybe a couple very different, options that you can go with. And so, yeah, I enjoy that quite a bit myself.
Yeah.
One of the other cool things that and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a good journalist whatsoever. I've got a few degrees, my friend, and not a one of them, all the way to my master's degree, and not one time did we ever touch on anything that said journalism. So all of this I'm learning from YouTube and Joe Rogan,
Oh, I do like Joe Rogan podcasts. It's very interesting.
But you had mentioned to me something about some nonprofit work that you're involved in here, and so I did not get a chance to look at it beforehand. But talk to me about it. What exactly is are we talking about here with the nonprofit and
well, I'll tell you how all this went down, and forgive me for not knowing the full background on it's called Paddle for Tomorrow.
Paddle for Tomorrow.
And so this is how it went down. So I what I did is I realized, so I'm on the new canoe team, right? So every year I get a new boat, and I either a lot of people will sell their old one. A lot of guys do that. It's most guys I think do that. At this time of year you'll see more kayaks go on sale by team guys than any time of the year. So if you're looking for a good kayak, now's the time. So basically, I ordered a custom black New Canoe Unlimited, and I decided that instead of sending it to Westbrook Supply in Atlanta and rigging it out and using it as my tournament boat, because I have a New Canoe Unlimited. It's a great kayak. It's set up. The wiring's done. It's perfect, right? And I thought about, I'm not going to fish as many tournaments. I got kids in 2 sports, right? So what I wanted to do is do something with that kayak and not just sell it, right?
Right.
It's easy to just create it, sell it for $1,500, $1,600, whatever it is, and move on. But I want to do something different. So I called Fletch at Westbrook and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. Do you have any ideas? And he goes, for me personally, Paddle for Tomorrow, he's on the board for Paddle for Tomorrow, right? And it's based in Atlanta, and they get kids from all different backgrounds and everything. They get them together, and they bring them out on these camping trips where they do hiking, they do paddling, and they introduce all these new people who probably would never get in a kayak and get out there and get on the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some type of raffle. I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to get a raffle set up, and we're gonna basically raffle off my New Canoe Unlimited. My custom black New Canoe Unlimited. I don't know the price. I don't know anything, but it's all in the works. And all the money's going to go to Paddle for Tomorrow, and they'll be able to hopefully help get paddles, get PFDs, whatever they got to get. I don't know. It might raise $500. Maybe it'll raise $5,000 or $10,000. I really don't know. We'll just have to get out there and give it our best shot. And this is step number 1 right here. Me talking to you.
Heck yeah.
This is it. This is step number 1. So I haven't talked to anybody else about it except my wife and Fletch, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. Why not?
Let's just get this on the record right now. When you get the details ironed out, Craig, and you got everything put together, feed me this information, because then we're going to do some promos for it. We're going to get it on our show here. We'll make sure that the folks of the All-American Kayak Series see this through those groups right here on the Paddle and Fin. We'll get this thing out, man. This is for an awesome cause. Let me put this website up here. So
it's Paddle 4. The number 4 tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Connects youth of all backgrounds and abilities to the outdoors. What better way, man, through kayak fishing to get these kids engaged in the outdoors?
Yes, and just to be able, just to be upfront, I've heard of these guys, and I've been to a couple of their events that they've done some film stuff, and I just, I want to support Fletch with Westbrook Supply and anybody else involved, and why not a better way? Why put a kayak in the garage? It's just going to sit there, or I can just sell it. Why not, do something good, and hopefully it works out, man. A lot of the guys on Team Westbrook are in the picture you have up there right now who've gone out there and support them and really help this thing be great. So I'm trying to do my part, trying to do my part to help, and I think we can do it. I mean, it's a great kayak. I think a lot of people would love to have it and pay their, $10, $20, whatever we decide, man. And I'm hoping we can, raise a little money.
Heck yeah, man. I'm in. I'll give me a ticket or two. Heck yeah.
I appreciate it.
Dude, man, this looks, look at these kids. They're just having an absolute blast for this.
I know.
How awesome is this? Just getting these kids engaged.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's a lot of kids that might not, never experience it. I was talking to Fletch. I called him today. And I said, Fletch, I can go on the website and read all about this. And I know some stuff y'all done and events you put on. But I said, what to you, man, what does it mean to you? Why are you involved with Paddle for Tomorrow? And he said, this is what it's about. The kids show up, they're nervous, they're scared, they don't really know how to be on a kayak, they don't know anybody there. Sometimes they don't, they're new to it. He goes, it's to see the difference between when they show up and then 6 hours later, they don't want to leave. They don't want to get off the water. They're hooked. They made a buddy out there. They're paddling together. They're in a tandem kayak. He goes, that's what it's about.
Hell yeah.
That's it. And I said, okay, Fletch, that's all you got to tell me, man. That's enough for me.
I'm in.
So he inspired me and got me even more excited about this. And we'll see. I've never done anything like this before. I've done some giveaways. Like I've got some like something from a sponsor, and I've given away, like my Instagram page, and I'll just give it away for free. But I think this time we can do a little better and raise some money for it.
Heck yeah, man. No, this is that's outstanding. I'll tell you what, it's what led me back to this stuff, man, is that there was a time, I'm a former first responder. I was a volunteer with the Larimer County Dive Rescue Team for several years. And it was my way to give back to my local community. I was a youth athletic coach for many years, and then took it up all the way to varsity at high school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Coaching football and track and hockey. And I always had, that was my fulfillment, as it felt like I was given something, even during the time when, when you're a paid coach, you're not paid that well. So you still know you're volunteering a lot of it, type thing.
Sure.
Until you hit collegiate level, type stuff. But point is that I got away from all those things to really chase the dream of fishing, and it left a hole, man. And that's why we started doing what we were doing, which was volunteering at some of these nonprofit events. And it's what helped change our whole perspective, is when you can try to, leave your mark somewhere, I mean, it provides that, I don't know. I don't want to say purpose, because I mean, it's maybe not like that, but you just know that, there's enough crap going on out there. I'd like to be someone that's remembered as doing some good, and I want my kids to see that. I want my kids to see me lead by example, doing good things, not getting, laughs and respect for being a shithead. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like,
you're right. You're right, man. I have a long commute where I work. So, you spend a lot of time in the car. You just start thinking about stuff, and without trying to get mad at people driving around Atlanta. But I was thinking, what do I want to do with this boat? What do I want to do with this boat? Do I want to send it over to Fletch and let him just go crazy with it? But I was like, I don't really want to sell it and just take the money. Like, I don't know. Something deep inside was like, there's something else you need to do with this boat. And one day I called Fletch, and then we talked about it, and that was it. So
that's so cool. That is so cool. And who knows where this leads, man? That's the thing. This is your start. This is your start. Yeah. We'll just see where it goes. And
I got to be careful, because I don't want it to be about me. It is a good way to promote the brand. It is a good way to raise some money for a good thing, and I think that'll happen. But I don't want it to be like, hey, look at me, look what I'm giving away. So we're probably going to try to run it through Paddle for Tomorrow a little more than like me. I'm not sure how it's all going to work. We're going to figure it out. But I do want to be careful there.
Yeah, for sure. No, you want to make sure that it's being done for the right reasons, and you don't, when we started our nonprofit, brother, it was the biggest thing to me was just a matter of be as transparent as humanly possible.
Yeah, you're right.
If somebody wants to see, where things are at and what we're looking at doing, you betcha. That's exactly what we're here for, because it's, I'm very fortunate and lucky. I have I way outkicked my coverage with my wife. She is a highly successful, highly supportive human being. And she is the reason I get to do and chase this stuff and try to take care of the karma bank. Like she tells me, I take care of the karma bank. She takes care of the real bank. I'm like, what? I'm totally down for that. Right. I'm okay with that.
That's a good deal right there.
That's what I can't. I even when I think I'm having a bad day or what, I'm like, yeah, you gonna complain, really, dude? She's like, shut up. But it's
get it together.
Right. No, but when it comes time to move that thing, man, let us know what we can do to help talk about it and let people know about the raffle that's going on out there. And because I think that's a fantastic and what a cool thing for someone to get your custom boat, man. If they're gonna win one badass rig, is what they're gonna win.
That black. I also have the what color decking did I get? I think I got. See, I love the black because I have brown decking on my Flint, on my black Flint, and man, it looks so good. I don't know, I love it. So I think that's what I got. I actually have it in a box. I got to go see what I ordered, but when it comes in, I got the full decking kit, so I'll put the whole decking on it. And I'm thinking about possibly getting. I'm with Yak Attack, get with Yak Attack, and maybe a black pack. Maybe a Bend Your Branches paddle and make a package, and not just the kayak.
Right.
I'm going to try to do all that. I'm not sure yet how I want to do it all. Probably really going to ramp up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll get it.
Cool.
We'll get some promotion stuff out there.
My road trips don't start until end of March. That's when I turn into a freaking nomad running around the country with the All Americans. So, but we're wide open before that. And even if I am on the road, we'll still figure out a way to get this thing broadcast out there, man. So you just let us know.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
So the new canoe. So you run for tournament stuff. You got your Flint and you run an unlimited. Is that right? You do them both?
Yeah, that's what I do right now.
That Flint you're using mainly for like rivers and such?
Yeah, look, that Flint, it gets some hate sometimes, but for me to be able to just drag it over anything and just pick it up and go, I mean, to me it's great. I mean, especially because my thing is when I fish a river tournament, I love fishing. I love going up current. I love fishing the angle. I like throwing my bait and having it come with the current. That's the kind of fisherman I am, and I like to cover a lot of water. And that Flint, you can turn it on a dime, and I put the rudder on it. So, I mean, when you have a foot control rudder with your left foot, just 1 foot, I mean, you can paddle up to an eddy instead of the back kicking sideways or whatever. You can just control it and just make 3 perfect casts on that eddy, and then move on to the next one, move on to the next one. So I really do like the Flint. A lot of guys don't fish out of it for tournaments. I mean, there are a few, but for small water and small, creeks and rivers, to me, it's hard to beat.
Dude, there's something to be said for that because I did first part of a season with a trailer. I ran with, that was the trailer we used to haul all of them around. And I was trailer launching, and yeah, that was kind of cool because I didn't have to get my feet wet. It was kind of just, boop, drop her in the water with the bow line, pull it in. But I got to tell you, I ended up back. I do have a trailer, but that's just for the TPO boats. That can hold 4 kayaks, and it's a mobile bunk for me. I can sleep in it and camp in it if I need to. But when I'm on by my own devices, I went back to just going back in the back of the pickup because I like the mobility factor. I like being able to get where I want to get with just my pickup.
Yeah.
And pull that thing out of the back. That's why that U10, that little 20 pounds less. There is something to be said for that, being able to be mobile and get in and out of locations.
Yeah, I've for years and years, man, I've fought a trailer, and how many times have I been fishing a tournament are coming back and seeing somebody on the side of the road with something going wrong with their trailer. And I'm like, I just can't. I've never been a trailer guy. At Unlimited, I pick that thing up and I slide it in there, and I just deal with it. But good thing I don't have a Hobie. I would be in bad news.
Dude, but some of those rigs, they're just like the old towns and such. Those things are just barges. They're great yaks, make no mistake. But good night, they are heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always been my buddy Calloway out of Alabama, who I used to fish with a lot. He lives close to Wheeler, and me and him, man, forever. We're like, we're not doing it, and we've been sliding the pickup truck for 12 years now.
That's awesome stuff. So what's 2024, before we let you go, brother, what's 2024 looking like for you? Got any tournaments on deck? You going to try to jump in some stuff here on a national side, or what's it looking like?
Well, man, I don't really know right now. My son, he just started lacrosse, which I'm learning about lacrosse.
Nice.
I'm YouTubing lacrosse like you would know. So we actually had practice today. I just got home from practice a few minutes ago before we started. Right. And so that's just ramping up. So I'm not sure yet. I love fishing the BFLs as a co-angler. I really enjoy it. I learn a lot, and it's so easy. The co-angler stuff, you just show up Saturday morning and fish, and you can come be on for dinner. Especially if you're fishing like Lanier or somewhere close to here.
Right.
But Drew Gregory, and he has his tournament series in May. Down there, the shoal bass one. I'm definitely going to fish that one. That's going to be really cool. Him using those theaters to host the events. I'm curious how that's going to go down. I think the attendance is going to be great. I think the payouts are going to be great. I love fishing the KBF stuff. I mean, the schedule. I'm like, I'm fighting it. I'm looking, and Murray, I can't fish because I'm going on a trip, and then there's another one going on, like on another trip. It's like on the beginning or the end of the weekend that I'm coming back or going on the trip. So I can't make it all work,
You only have so much time. And like you said, man, when the kids start, sports and so forth, and, you got to take care of, stuff at home for sure. Well, we're going to, for about 30 seconds here real quick, I want to just introduce you to the All-American Kayak Series. 1 second here.
Good.
And that was the little promo we put together for the All-American this year, man. It's kind of our bounce back season. We had a little dip in stuff last year, but first couple of years coming out, All-American was showing promise. We're Midwest. That's where we stay. We are coming to Kentucky Lake, brother.
Come on over.
Right?
Come on over, man.
Well,
I'll check it out.
We've worked with Steve Owens and AJ so well. They work with Josh Booth. On the schedule to make sure we try not to conflict, right? I mean,
sure.
There'll be a couple times where something does happen, but like Steve said, if it's going to happen, we like for it to happen like opposite ends. Like, we're not really taking anglers away from somebody going to Pennsylvania if we're holding something in Iowa. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
If it's going to, but it's super cool being able to work with them on the schedules and put it all together. And yeah, Kentucky Lake, that's as close as we're getting to your neck of the woods this year. We're coming there, and excited for that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, man, it's these are some cool events. Okoboji in there. We got lacrosse, of course. Some good staples. And then we're starting off at Lake of the Ozarks on beginning of April. So that's going to be we're going to get in like a week and a half before the Big Bass Bash goes off. So it's like we're coming in at the perfect time.
Do it. I will say this, props to all of these folks running these kayak tournaments. I did it in Nashville, just a club for 4 or 5 years, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of people who don't read the rules and ask the same question 100 times. So I know how it is. I've been there. I loved it. I loved it. I was happy to pass it on to some other guys, but man, props to y'all for doing that and whoever's involved. And I know you guys aren't making a bunch of money doing it. So
No.
Thank y'all for doing that.
Eventually it would be nice to be able to have those type of things as a paying, obviously. And for anybody that would think otherwise, they're just not thinking very long term. I mean, you want people that can make a living to manage something nice for you, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're still getting the payouts, I mean, what's the, I'd rather know that dude is taking care of his family and is doing all right, to run an awesome series. There's
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But it's tough. There's just not a lot out there. There's only so much to go around, So right now it's a matter of just keep the sport going, keep things right. And also bring an offering to a group of anglers that otherwise gets looked over or gets forced to have to drive, 12 to 16 hours just to find a national trail, so that's no fun.
That's tough.
Everything is like that for me in Colorado here, man, where I live. Dude, it's like I'm 12 hours from a really good body of competitive water. It's like, so we're used to it out here. No worries.
I got Gunnersville 2.5 this way. I got Lakeland here an hour this way. I got Chickamauga an hour and a half.
I keep talking to the wife to get a condo somewhere down in that neck of the woods for just 3 months. Just 3 months of January, February, March. Let me plant someplace where I can still go fishing,
I do sometimes forget how good it is around here that we have. I mean, it's really nice.
Dude, you got like a Mount Rushmore of bass lakes down there just within a stone's throw of you. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's sweet.
Well, listen, man, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. Super glad that you're with Team New Canoe and that get a chance to represent out there, man. It's going to be awesome. Super excited for you as a dad, man. You got these are milestone events going on with the kids and everything. So that's super cool, man.
Yeah, they're 6 and 10, and look, I could get on the road and go fish these KBO tournaments, and be gone for 5-6 days. It's hard, man. It's really hard to be gone that long, especially when they're involved in. My little one just finished basketball season last weekend. Lacrosse is starting up. Little one's doing flag football, starts in a couple of weeks, and I can't miss it, man. This is the time, because they'll be 17 and not care about parents so much before we know it.
Dude, you have wisdom beyond. I have 2 adult children, and I can tell you when the teenage years kick in, they start losing any interest in hanging out.
Yeah,
they're, we always went to the sporting events and band events and so forth, but at the same note, you could tell they were just like, okay, cool, thanks, thanks for sharing. I mean, they got their friends, right? They got their stuff. You're just, they don't want mom and dad still. Yeah, dude, you're in the wheelhouse right now. You take the time. Don't look back, because this is a great time for that.
Yeah.
Hang here with me, brother, as we roll this thing out here, and I'll get a chance to chat with you and get some trade some context information there. Folks, make sure you head on out. Go check out. Let me pull that back up here. Make sure I got this right, Craig. Is that your Craig.die.9? Is that the fishing to follow folks out there?
Well, I don't know what that. Well, if you just go on Facebook, just look up Craig Kayak Fishing. Just search it. I'll pop up. And then Instagram, it's Die Fishing. And then YouTube is also Die Fishing, DYE Fishing. And you won't see a whole lot on there lately, just because we've been so busy with everything else. But I got a lot coming. Fishing season, it's getting warm. I'm gonna be fishing hopefully 1 or 2 days a week, and I love putting video out there. I love putting content. That's one of my favorite things to do. So I want to get that rolling again, get that momentum going, and hopefully find some big bass soon.
Hell yeah, that's the drug, right? That's the chase. So Die Fishing. Make sure you get out there, check out YouTube, check out Instagram, Facebook, and you can find every bit of it out there. Also, while you're at it, check out Paddle for Tomorrow. It's a super cool mission they're on.
Yeah.
And just check those guys out there. Give them a like and a follow. Of course, the website, if you just Google Paddle for Tomorrow, it'll take you right to it. I think it's paddlefortomorrow.org. Good stuff. And with us here along the front at True Patriot Outfitters. give us a follow. YouTube is the big one. That's the one we're absolutely trying to expand our reach on with our subscribers out there. Battleborn Tackle is our sponsor for this year's entire season. Veteran-owned small business tackle retailer. Go check him out. The more business he does, the more offerings he'll be able to set up there for you. He has some great prices, and his inventory just continues to expand. It seems to be each week, man, more and more stuff is coming in there. A lot of name brand cool things that you can get a hold of at Battleborn Tackle. Last but not least, Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. They make all this stuff come together. So those likes, follows, all that good stuff, folks, we sincerely appreciate it. And I think that's going to do it. Let's go ahead and roll this thing out of here. Tight lines, folks. Be safe.